Tim Walz. You remember that guy, the governor of Minnesota?
And it never fits quite right.
Never fits quite right. Just not quite right. How do you give it back?
Governor, what kind of gun is it?
So I've become friends with school shooters. I'm a knucklehead.
This is who Kamala Harris chose to be the Democratic nominee for vice president. That's right. She thought that Tim Walz should be one heartbeat away from being the leader of the free world. Well, not only is he not up to that job, but he's also a massive fraud. He's covering up a huge, huge fraud, $1 billion fraud in his state of Minnesota. But here's the thing. It gets much worse because it's not just me. It's not the Daily Caller. It's not just Breitbart calling us out. It's the New York Times. How fraud swamped Minnesota's social services system on Tim Walz's watch. Wow. Wow. That's the New York Times. So if it's that bad for them, you know how bad it really has to be? That's right. The Minneapolis nonprofit director was actually charged with fraud. Unbelievable. Chairman Jim Comer of the House Oversight Committee here in Washington, D.C., launched an investigation into this because here's the kicker. And this is what you really have to understand. It's not just fraud. Fraud happens all the time. It's bad. It's horrible. This was COVID money that was supposed to help kids.
And I want to be very clear. I've become friends with school shooters.
COVID money that was supposed to help kids. This is what Democrats wanted. They want a boatload of money to be able to spread around during COVID. And this was COVID money that was supposed to help poor children. And you know what happened? A massive $1 billion fraud scheme right under Tim Walz's nose, right under his nose from a group of Somalis in Minnesota. But here's the bigger problem for Tim Walz. It's not just that it happened on his watch. It's not just that the New York Times called it out. It was his own people that blew the whistle. More than 400 employees of Minnesota's Department of Human Services blamed Walz for the massive fraud in the state. But here's the thing. They said he ignored the warnings and punished the whistleblowers.
I'm a knucklehead.
To cover up this Somali fraud in Minnesota. Unbelievable. But it gets worse. It's not just Tim Walz. Apparently, members of the inner circle of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar personally profited from the $1 billion welfare COVID scheme in her district. That is unbelievable. But Omar then decided to go on Jake Tapper on CNN and was asked about how this fraud got so out of control. Here's what she said.
Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, you know, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Well, Caroline Levitt wasn't buying any of this. She summed up the extent of the fraud. Take a look.
Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far, 59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers. In one scheme, and this is egregious, a nonprofit and its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya.
Secretary Noem, during the cabinet hearing, made it very clear that she's on the case as well, informing the president. You told me to look into this. I'm looking into it.
You told me to look into Minnesota and their fraud on visas and their programs. 50% of them are fraudulent, which means that wacko Governor Walz either is an idiot or he did it on purpose. And I think he's bold, sir. He brought people in there illegally that never should have been in this country, said they were somebody that they're not. They said they were married to somebody who was their brother or somebody else. Fraudulent visa applications, signed up for government programs, took hundreds of billions of dollars from the taxpayers, and we're going to remove them and we're going to get our money back.
Now, Walz, of course, he doesn't, he didn't like being called out for it. Let me show you his response.
It's not a coincidence that they're targeting Minnesota. If they want to help us, I welcome that. I think they do an investigation, find out, but I don't think anybody in here really believes their motive and their timing is about actually doing something about this.
I guess after all, maybe he's just, what did he say he was? He was a...
I'm a knucklehead, so I've become friends with school shooters.
I'm getting myself a new best friend. Wake up, you're my new best friend.
Really? What? Are we going to the zoo?
Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.